The last time I did a rumor video on the iPhone 6, it did extremely well. So I'm coming back at you again with an up-to-date rumor video on the iPhone 6. This time I actually have the iPhone 6 dummy unit in hand and in the house. So I'm going to let you guys know what to expect this fall when the iPhone 6 does come out. Now, do keep in mind that these are all rumors and none of it has been confirmed by Apple, but we're pretty sure what we're going to get. Now, one of the confusing parts is that there's probably going to be two models of the iPhone 6. The first one that will release this fall is the standard iPhone 6, and then later, maybe in 2015, we'll be seeing an iPhone 6s or an iPhone Air, which will be a larger phablet range phone to compete with the Android flagships. The standard baseline iPhone 6 is slated to release later this fall around September, featuring a 4.7-inch screen with a resolution of 1704 by 960 pixels. It'll sport a pixel density of 416 pixels per inch. Now compare that to the 326 ppi of the iPhone 5s, and you can see that Apple has an opportunity here to up the ante and finally make the long-awaited move to an HD screen. Now, as I mentioned, the larger iPhone 6 is likely delayed until early 2015 due to production problems. On that iPhone, you can expect a 5.5-inch screen with a 1080p resolution to keep the Retina resolution and branding on the phone and keep the pixels per inch count up. It's also going to be competing with the Android flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the Oppo Find 7 and all those larger displays with higher resolution phones because Apple hasn't really entered that market yet, but I'm excited to see what they do in that phablet range of phones. Also worth noting is Apple's recent purchase of close to 1,000 Sapphire production systems, which points towards an all sapphire glass smartphone. Now this is a big move even for Apple in the smartphone industry, since previously Sapphire has been way too expensive to be practical. Regardless, I'm really excited to see the durability that it brings. As for the design, our best look right now is the dummy phone I've been showing in this video, and you've probably seen it all over YouTube. It's what the case manufacturers have created in order to test fit their cases before the phone comes out, and with Apple's move to a thinner, lighter, and smoother phone, the chassis just makes sense. Now the phone is looking to be longer and wider than the iPhone 5s, but also about 10% thinner with a thickness of just 7mm. As for the specs, we're looking for the iPhone 6 to feature an A8 chip, which will be the next generation of Apple processors, which will be a quad-core 64-bit 20nm architecture processor, as well as just 1GB of RAM and improved graphics for an overall better experience, but probably nothing revolutionary. The camera has been a huge strong point of the iPhone 5 and 5s, so I see Apple following the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. It's likely going to keep the same 8-megapixel sensor, but improve upon it with software or even including optical image stabilization, which would be a big deal for recording video. Now, other than that, you're looking at some more sensors maybe, like a heart rate or temperature sensor, to compete with the Android flagships, in addition to an improved Touch ID. It's actually open to developers now, which will be a big deal once iOS 8 rolls around. Speaking of iOS 8, you're going to see a lot of health-centered apps and probably features on the phone just to compete with the Android movement that you've been seeing, and in addition, I think Apple could really bring that health movement to the mainstream, as well as 802.11ac or gigabit Wi-Fi, which will feature much faster Wi-Fi speeds than the current generation of iPhones. So that's going to be it for this rumor video of the iPhone 6. I have a lot more coverage of this dummy model comparing it to other phones coming up, so stay tuned for that and subscribe if you want to see more. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and stay classy.